Greetings, class. Hey, it's John. I want to give you a little bit of a synopsis of what I've seen in terms of leadership over the past week. I do want to put it out there for those of you who feel my pain that as we're reading through more and more of these theories, I'm having a very difficult time not identifying the theories in action when my day-to-day interactions are taking place, or saying, here's a situation, which theory should I be using? So the situation I want to describe at this point is I had a graduate assistant, and at this point we'll call him Robert, came into my office in a bit of a tizzy and had said, I'm having a big challenge. I've got a program later on tonight, and I don't have any prizes because I didn't know I needed any prizes for this, and the students who are working with me on the program didn't tell me about those things. So I immediately went in my brain and I said, okay, let's think about this, and I realized I was utilizing the path goal theory. So I'm going to recap a couple things about that the theory partly is based on the expectancy theory and wanting people to have the subordinates be motivated if they think they're going to be able to accomplish tasks, and if they think they're going to be successful, and if they think that their work is going to be worthwhile. But at the same time, leaders are trying to provide the subordinates with those resources and tools to help them in terms of goal setting and navigating obstacles. And in this case, I saw that Robert was dealing with a bit of a challenge in navigating his world because he had an obstacle and he wasn't sure how to handle it as a relatively newer staff member in my office. What I've utilized, Robert, from the beginning is a little bit of the directive leadership component of the path goal theory, which talks about the leader giving the individual who reports to them specific instructions and specific expectations of their task, what's expected of them, and what is their measurements for being successful. And I kind of used that with him as a starting point because I recognized that he didn't know what he did not know. So from that time, I've kind of evolved with him a little bit. He's been with us for about 2.5, 3 months. So we're starting to move more towards the supportive aspect of the path goal theory. And I'm trying to be friendly and approachable, as the theory talks about, but specifically providing him advice and guidance on what we had done in terms of navigating that very specific situation of not having prizes for an event. Was I said to him, let's go to Walmart. Let's go talk through this situation as we go to Walmart. Let's go buy the prizes we needed to. I know many of you were thinking, wow, I wish I could just go shopping in the middle of the day, but it's not for personal stuff. It's obviously for a program. I had about a 45-minute time opening on my calendar, so it worked out pretty perfectly, recognizing that's not always going to be the case. So in the conversations I had with him, we talked about supportive leadership. I kind of utilized some participative leadership things and saying, how do you think we can solve this? How do you navigate this for the future? Moving a little bit into the role of the achievement-oriented leadership with it talks about the leader having expectations, the employees and challenging them for their continuous improvement, and I'm doing that with him, and I'm really spending a lot of time on the human investment component with Robert to make sure that he's going to be successful as he moves forward. The other theory that really stuck out to me as I'm thinking about this was the situational approach. It's very similar to the path goal theory in terms of how I started with, not the theories themselves, but I started at a very base level because, of course, he's relatively new in the role. He came to me with a lot of experiences in terms of programming, but did not know what the University of North Carolina Wilmington's standards and expectations for programming were, or that at the university. So I had spent a lot of time with this. And what I've done, again, is started with that path, started with the directing and giving him very specific instructions. And I'm moving into that coaching with him. So while he and I were shopping, I was asking him questions. I was getting invested in his personal characteristics and saying, what's been successful for you? How are things going? And we talked through how he sees the programming board that he's working with move forward in managing themselves in a bit more of an efficient and effective way. And he seems very receptive, and he bounces ideas off me a lot. But he also comes into my office frequently and says, solve my problem. And I'm of the mindset that I can solve the problem because I've done it, but I want you to be an active member in that and how we figure that out too. So as simple as it is to go find prizes for an event, it's still an integral part of a program. And I would say to him, okay, talk about the prizes. What's the rationale? Why are we doing these things? How do we navigate this in the future so that we're not at the 11th hour trying to find prizes for a program events? And he's very receptive to that. And he says, I want to grow, I want to develop, I want to be better, and that's fantastic. So continuing with the situational approach, looking in the future, I'll be going more towards a delegating where I'm going to say, Robert, what's the program look like? Talk me through the situation. What are all those things that we're forgetting, so he can kind of move in that realm, and I think he's going to do very good with that as he continues down the path of programming and getting more used to UNCW. So I want to give you all that brief snapshot of leadership experience I've had in the past week. So hope you all have a great day, and I will see you next Monday.